Sovereign heart frequency, reclaiming original light and abundance. Quantum opening. Your heart carries a royal signature woven before memory and beyond time. That signature glows like a silent dawn that never stops arriving. Every breath becomes a seal of sovereignty. Every step confirms a sacred appointment with your own original light. Today, a golden current rises through your spine and crowns your head with lucid presence. Today, your field remembers that abundance is less a possession and more a radiance that you allow to stream through. Section 1. Deep Gaze. Archetypes, Myth, and the Journey of the Soul. Sovereignty feels like the mountain that does not apologize for its height. It rests in dignity, not arrogance. It shelters valleys, feeds rivers, and speaks through the quiet authority of endurance. Sovereignty lives in the archetypal king and queen, not as rulers of others, but as guardians of inner order. It flows in the magician who transmutes density into wisdom. It sings in the lover who breathes intimacy into every cell, and in the warrior who defends boundaries with compassion. Together they form a round table inside your chest, a council of luminous forces that coordinate your path. The soul crosses landscapes of initiation. Childhood belief patterns carve grooves, family myths sculpt meanings, culture imposes costumes. At a certain turning point, the traveler steps off the scripted road. A new compass lights up under the sternum. Direction comes from coherence. The body begins to speak a clearer language. The eyes learn to rest. The nervous system sets its metronome to a deeper rhythm. From this center, abundance becomes a natural circulation rather than a prize to be chased. Prosperity expands as the song of a river returning to its source while nourishing all it touches. The story of sovereignty also tells of sacred limits. A boundary is not a wall. A boundary is the intelligent skin of the soul. It allows mutual nourishment and protects the living temple. When limits are alive, your yes carries power and your no carries grace. When limits are absent, energy leaks and abundance thins out into confusion. The sovereign heart does not beg. The sovereign heart blesses and chooses. Section 2. Scientific and Psychological Foundations. Transpersonal psychology points to the self as a nested reality. Ego serves as a functional interface, while essence extends beyond personal biography. In peak or flow states, the sense of separation softens. The nervous system shifts into coherence, often measurable through heart rate variability. When coherence rises, perception sharpens, creativity increases, and relational attunement improves. Sovereignty here means regulated agency, aligned with a transpersonal center. Not isolation, but participation without fusion. Not control, but stewardship. Humanistic psychology speaks of self-actualization anchored in authenticity. Values clarify behavior. Congruence replaces performance. Unconditional positive regard toward oneself becomes both medicine and method. When behavior aligns with values, shame dissolves and capacity grows. Abundance then reflects a state of organized meaning rather than mere accumulation. The person who owns their values owns their path. The person who owns their path stops negotiating their aliveness. From the lens of cognitive science, attentional systems act like gatekeepers for reality. What the mind attends to amplifies. Neural plasticity lays tracks around repeated focus. Sovereignty in the brain is the art of curating attention with kindness and rigor. The prefrontal cortex leads, the limbic system calms, the vagus nerve sings its lullaby of safety. With practice, the organism learns that grounded presence is more efficient than frantic striving. Momentum emerges as a byproduct of clarity. Symbolic examples clarify the terrain. The tight chest before a difficult conversation reveals a boundary asking for voice. The fatigue after a day of constant availability reveals a sovereignty deficit. The resentment toward a partner or colleague often conceals an unspoken no. Naming the truth relaxes the fascia. Embodiment follows honesty. Section 3. Biodecoding in action. The body as a sacred ledger. The body stores emotional equations and reconciles them through symptoms. When sovereignty weakens, the body compensates. Throat tension or recurrent sore throat often reflects swallowed truths. The voice waits at the doorway, and the immune system bears the load. Liberation wrote, paced expression and clear requests. The tissue relaxes when language carries integrity. Solar plexus heaviness or reflux can mirror chronic self-doubt or persistent self-cancellation. The stomach tries to digest the undigested number. Liberation route. Explicit permission to choose, structured confrontation of small tolerations, ritualized declaration of agency. Lower back pain frequently signals perceived lack of support or duty overload. The spine bends under invisible contracts. Liberation route. Review of roles, redistribution of tasks, and an economic boundary plan that matches energetic truth. Chronic fatigue can symbolize energy hemorrhage from diffuse obligations and codependent patterns. Liberation route. Time boundaries, micro rests, and a daily recontracting with purpose. Skin irritations may echo boundary irritation. The skin as border tells the story of contact overload. Liberation route. Sensory downshifts, slower social rhythms, and small ceremonies of closure after exchanges. Biodecoding invites compassionate curiosity. The symptom becomes a teacher rather than an enemy. The question behind every ache transforms into a directive statement of care. The body says enough, and the sovereign heart replies received. Section 4. Quantum NLP Toolkit. Step-by-step repatterning. This toolkit blends classical NLP with a field awareness orientation. Move steadily and breathe softly. 4.1. The Sovereign Anchor. 1. Stand tall with soft knees and relaxed jaw. 2. Recall a moment of clean self-possession, even if brief. 3. Enhance sensory detail, colors, temperature, micro sounds, body tone. 4. When the feeling crests, press thumb and middle finger together and exhale slowly. 5. Whisper inwardly, I occupy my space with benevolence. 6. Release the fingers and walk 3 steps. 7. Refire the anchor by touching the same fingers. Notice the swift return of state. 8. Install through repetition across contexts until the body calls it automatically. 4.2 Boundary Recode Pattern. 1. Think of a recent scene where your boundary blurred. 2. Float above the scene in your mind, witnessing without collapse. 3. Observe your past self and place a golden ring of light at the perimeter of the body image. 4. Send the message. Your yes is holy, your no is holy. 5. Rehearse the same scene with one micro adjustment, posture upright, breath steady, voice low and slow. 6. Run the mental movie 3 times, each time compressing the latency between awareness and expression. 7. Future pace. See tomorrow's you repeating the healthy micro action with ease. 4.3 Belief Reframe Spiral. 1. Identify a constrictive belief, for example, I must overgive to be worthy. 2. Test the felt sense of this phrase and notice where it lands in the body. 3. Replace it with a neutral bridge statement, it becomes safe to give from fullness. 4. Spiral the statement through breath cycles. Inhale on safe, exhale on fullness. 5. Add a behavior token within 24 hours that proves the new frame, such as declining one extra task with kindness. 6. Log the evidence and repeat daily for 7 days to carve the neural groove. 4.4 Abundance Field Calibration. 1. Visualize a sphere around your heart with a radius of 1 meter. 2. Populate the sphere with scenes of reciprocity and fair exchange. 3. See resources as flowing currents rather than static objects. 4. Align prices, time commitments, and relational agreements with this current. 5. Affirm. Energy in, energy through, energy out, balanced and bright. 6. Take one aligned money or time action today that honors this calibration. 4.5 Microlanguage Protocols. Let replace. I have to write that with. I choose to nada de tenor. I decline to land it. Replace. Sorry for the delay. With. Thank you for your patience. Replace. Let me know if that works. With. This is what works for me. Plus one collaborative option. Language trains the nervous system. The mouth becomes a tuning fork for the spine. Section 5. Spiritual Lens and Christ Consciousness. Christ consciousness emanates as unconditional presence. It does not bypass truth. It dignifies truth with love. When this current saturates the heart, Unity does not cancel individuality. Unity sanctifies individuality. From this view, sovereignty becomes a ministry of care. You care for the life that lives through you. You treat your boundaries as sacraments. You treat your gifts as communal bread. Mystic traditions speak of a luminous emptiness, the fertile void that holds all forms. Buddhist philosophy calls it shunyata, not as nihilism, but as open architecture. On this ground, clinging dissolves and generosity becomes natural. Psychomagic adds symbol and act to cement inner decisions in outer reality. Light lineages whisper that your cells are intelligent prayer wheels. Every rotation of breath writes another stanza on the scroll of your aura. In this synthesis, devotion and discernment walk hand in hand. Devotion keeps the heart warm, discernment keeps the gate clean. Compassion without boundaries becomes leakage. Boundaries without compassion become ice. The sovereign heart carries both fire and river. Section 6. Integrative Ritual. The Crowned Heart Ceremony. Set aside 33 minutes. Prepare a white candle, a glass of water, a small mirror, and a coin or stone. 1. Purify. Place the water to your left and the candle to your right. Light the candle. Exhale through the mouth 3 times and let the jaw soften. Declare, I sanctify this space and this body as instruments of benevolent order. 2. Witness. Hold the mirror at heart level. Look softly at your eyes. Sense the room as a cathedral and your breath as incense. Declare, I witness tenderness and strength living in the same home. 3. Crown. Touch the coin or stone to the crown of your head. Feel gravity and grace weaving. Declare, I receive the crown of rightful responsibility for my energy. 4. Seal. Sip the water. Place a drop on each palm. Declare, what enters my field nourishes. What leaves my field blesses. 5. Contract. Write 3 sentences on paper. 1 value, 1 boundary, 1 generosity. Keep them short and measurable. Examples. Value. Truth over performance. Boundary. No messages after 9 p.m. Generosity. 10 minutes of daily gratitude. Notes. 6. Offering. Fold the paper and place it under the coin or stone for 7 nights. Extinguish the candle with gratitude and keep the glass of water near the door until morning, then pour it under a plant. Repeat weekly for 1 moon cycle. Each repetition thickens the myelin of sovereignty. PLEIADIAN. Applied scenarios and scripts. Commerce and pricing. Set a floor price that honors labor, study, and art. Add a grace tier for those in transition and a gratitude tier for supporters. Communicate with warmth and clarity. Use the phrase aligned exchange in your invoices or descriptions to remind the nervous system that money is a relationship. Creative boundaries. Reserve a golden hour each day with devices off. Label it Sanctuary Hour in your calendar. The mind learns to bow to the bell. Relational agreements. Replace vague availability with rhythms. For example, calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays only. Rhythm generates trust. Trust generates abundance. Energy hygiene. After sessions or meetings, sweep the hands from crown to feet 3 times, then press the palms to the solar plexus and breathe. Whisper, return to sender with love. The field brightens like polished silver. Nervous system notes. Coherence breath. Inhale for 5 counts, exhale for 5 counts, 5 minutes twice per day. This raises heart rate variability and anchors calm authority. Gaze, reset. Every 50 minutes, look to the horizon for 30 seconds. Distance vision signals safety to the midbrain. Jaw, release. Place tongue on the roof of the mouth and sigh quietly. This deactivates threat loops and supports articulate speech. Affirmations and decrees. I am kind and clear. My values shape my schedule. My yes builds worlds. Yamaino preserves temples, or noboras on my earn, keep, and circulate money with reverence. I expand without leaking. I love without abandoning, yet myself. The sovereign heart within me serves the sovereign heart in all beings. Speak slowly, feel each word as a weight that stabilizes the floor of your being. Mythic visualization, the golden citadel. Close your eyes. A citadel rises inside your ribcage, built from golden basalt, warm and ancient. 4 gates shine at the cardinal points. East Gate holds vision. A river of ideas flows in clear channels. South Gate holds will. Forge fires glow without smoke. West Gate holds devotion. A garden receives evening light and the fragrance of jasmine. North Gate holds boundaries. Stone lions rest, alert and merciful. Walk the inner walls with calm feet. Place your palm on each gate and breathe. When all 4 glow, step into the central courtyard. A fountain sends a column of light from the earth to the stars. Stand in the column, let it clean all bargains and residual shame. Walk out renewed. The citadel remains as your living architecture. Prosperity mechanics, practical algorithms for flow. 2-column ledger. On the left, list activities that generate energy and revenue. On the right, list activities that drain energy without fair return. Keep the left column sacred and schedule it first. Value stack. For every offering, clarify transformation, time, tools, and touch. Price by value delivered rather than hours consumed. Reciprocity loop. Deliver one piece of free, high-quality value weekly, paired with one clear invitation for deeper work. Rhythm produces trust and cash flow. Closure ritual. The close projects with written gratitude, lessons, and a clear next step or farewell. Clean endings prevent energy debt. Ethics of sovereignty. Sovereignty never justifies harm. Sovereignty elevates responsibility. The more power circulates through your field, the gentler your hands become. The core ethic remains simple. Protect life, tell the truth, honor exchange, and repair when impact misaligns with intent. The sovereign path is not a performance of strength, but a practice of reliability. Coda. The tone of the new day. The air changes when you decide from the marrow. Rooms feel larger. Time obeys. Money smiles and walks toward you because it senses a steward, not a hoarder. Love breathes easier because it meets a presence, not a vacuum. Your dreams stop screaming because they are finally being lived. The sovereign heart frequency turns chaos into choreography. The music of your life grows audible to others. Collaboration arises naturally. The path feels inevitable and kind. Master phrase. I stand as a benevolent sovereign, radiant, responsible, and rooted in love. Quantum challenge for the next 24 hours. Choose one boundary to enact, one generosity to express, and one prosperity action to advance. Write them, schedule them, and execute them before sleep. Close the day by whispering, "Well done, beloved one," to your own chest. Activation code. El Udamasha Ori Kai. Repeat 8 times while pressing the sovereign anchor. Feel the spine lengthen and the heart widen. Con amor, Andrew.